Your brain is a machine built by evolution to survive, not to thrive. Right now, it's wired to chase quick hits of pleasure. Scrolling, snacking, binge watching because that's what kept your ancestors alive in a world of scarcity. But you're not running from saber-toothed cats anymore. You're fighting a different battle, the one against your own impulses. The good news: you can rewire your brain to crave discipline, to find satisfaction in the grind, and to break free from the dopamine traps that keep you stuck. This isn't about willpower. It's about hacking your biology to make discipline feel as natural as breathing. Let's start with the enemy, dopamine. It's the chemical your brain releases when you get a reward. A like on your post, a text from a crush, the first bite of a donut. It feels good, but it's a liar. Dopamine doesn't care about your long-term goals. It's designed to make you want more, not to make you better. Every time you give in to a quick hit, you strengthen neural pathways that scream, do it again. That's why you check your phone 100 times a day or reach for chips when you're stressed. Your brain isn't broken, it's just following its programming. The modern world exploits this, bombarding you with notifications, algorithms, and hyper-palatable foods, all engineered to keep you hooked, but you're not a puppet. You can pull the strings. The truth is, your brain is plastic, not like a water bottle plastic in the sense that it can change. Neuroplasticity means your brain can form new connections, strengthen useful pathways, and weaken the ones dragging you down. This is your superpower. You can train your brain to find reward in discipline, to get a rush from finishing a task, to feel alive when you stick to your plan. The key is understanding how to manipulate your brain's reward system, and that starts with breaking the dopamine addiction. This process isn't about becoming a monk or living a joyless life. It's about redirecting your brain's craving for reward toward actions that build you up, not tear you down. First, you need to starve the bad habits, not cold turkey that rarely work. Instead, make the bad habits harder to access. Your brain loves the path of least resistance, so increase the friction. Want to stop scrolling? Put your phone in another room, not just your pocket. Want to eat healthier? Don't keep junk food in the house. Studies show that when you make a behavior harder, your brain is less likely to default to it. For example, one study found that people ate 20% less candy when it was placed 6 feet away instead of on their desk. Distance creates a pause, and that pause gives your brain a chance to choose differently. This isn't about denying yourself, it's about rewiring what feels rewarding. When you remove easy dopamine hits, your brain starts looking for other sources of satisfaction. Now, replace those hits with something better. Discipline isn't about suffering. It's about finding joy in the process. Your brain needs to associate effort with reward. Here's how: pick a goal, any goal. Writing 500 words a day, running 3 times a week, meditating for 10 minutes. Make it small enough to be doable, but challenging enough to matter. Then, every time you complete it, celebrate. Not with cake or a Netflix binge, but with something that reinforces the behavior. Tell yourself, I did that. Write it down. Track your streak on a calendar or an app. Your brain loves progress, and small wins release dopamine in a way that builds momentum, not dependency. This is called intrinsic reward, the satisfaction of the act itself. Over time, your brain starts to see the effort as the prize. This works because of a concept called the dopamine reward prediction error. Your brain predicts how much pleasure an action will bring. If the action exceeds that prediction, you get a bigger dopamine spike and your brain rewires to want more of that action. That's why the first sip of coffee feels amazing, but the 10th cup doesn't. To hack this, make your discipline actions unpredictable in their rewards. Sometimes after a workout, treat yourself to a favorite song or a warm shower. Other times, just bask in the feeling of being done. Keep your brain guessing, and it'll start craving the effort itself. For example, if you're writing, vary the reward. One day, enjoy a quiet moment with a cup of tea. Another day, share your progress with a friend. This variability keeps the dopamine system engaged without relying on unhealthy crutches. But here's the catch. Your brain doesn't change overnight. It takes about 21 to 66 days to form a new habit, depending on the person and the behavior. During that time, you're fighting your old wiring. Your brain will scream for the Alicia Keys voice, the old dopamine hits. Social media, procrastination, comfort food. This is where most people fail. They think discipline is about feeling motivated every day. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the fire you keep burning even when the spark is gone. To win, you need systems, not feelings. Create a cue routine reward loop. This is how habits work. The cue is a trigger, say waking up at 7 a.m. The routine is the action writing for 30 minutes. The reward is the payoff, checking off your task or savoring a quiet moment of pride. Make the cue specific and the routine non-negotiable. If you wait to feel like it, you're handing the reins to your dopamine-driven brain. Instead, decide in advance. Tell yourself when the alarm goes off, I write. No debate. Over time, the cue alone will trigger the urge to act, and the reward will seal the deal. For instance, if your goal is to exercise, lay out your workout clothes the night before. Cue. Do a 20-minute session routine and mark it on a visible tracker. Reward. This loop becomes automatic with repetition. Let's talk about stress, because it's the biggest saboteur. When you're stressed, your brain craves comfort, dopamine's favorite disguise. This is why you binge eat or doom scroll after a bad day. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that plans and makes decisions, shuts down under stress, and your limbic system, the emotional part, takes over. To rewire your brain, you need to manage stress before it derails you. One tool is deliberate cold exposure. A 30-second cold shower increases norepinephrine, a chemical that sharpens focus and reduces stress. It's not fun, but it trains your brain to handle discomfort, which is the foundation of discipline. Start with 15 seconds and build up. The shock resets your nervous system, making it easier to choose discipline over distraction. Another tool is controlled breathing. Slow, deep breaths, 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out, for 5 minutes can reset your nervous system. This lowers cortisol, the stress hormone, and keeps your prefrontal cortex online. Use this when you feel the urge to give in to a bad habit. For example, if you're tempted to check your phone during a work session, pause and breathe for 60 seconds. It's not about willpower. It's about giving your brain the oxygen it needs to make the right choice. Over time, these practices build resilience, so stress doesn't push you back to dopamine's quick fixes. You can also try box breathing. 4 seconds in, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. Navy SEALs use this to stay calm under pressure, and it works for everyday stress too. Now let's get to the heart of rewiring. Effort itself must become the reward. This is the secret of people who seem naturally disciplined. They've trained their brains to find pleasure in the grind. To do this, focus on the internal rewards of effort. When you finish a task, notice how it feels clearer, stronger, more in control. This is your brain releasing dopamine and serotonin, chemicals that signal accomplishment. The more you tune into these feelings, the more your brain associates effort with reward. It's like teaching slightly longer to deepen the explanation without changing the core message. A dog to love fetching a ball instead of chasing its tail. For example, after a focused work session, take a moment to savor the clarity of a job well done. That feeling is your brain's natural high, and it's more sustainable than any external hit. One way to amplify this is through visualization, but not the fluffy kind. Before you start a task, close your eyes and see yourself completing it. Feel the satisfaction. Studies show that mental rehearsal strengthens neural pathways, making the action feel more familiar and rewarding when you do it. This isn't about dreaming big, it's about priming your brain to expect the win. For instance, if you're preparing for a run, visualize crossing the finish line, feeling strong. Then when you finish, reflect on it. Write down what went well. Maybe you pushed through a tough moment, or beat your previous time. This reinforces the pathway, making discipline more automatic each time. Journaling these wins also creates a record of progress, which your brain loves. Let's address the elephant in the room: failure. You will slip up, you'll skip a workout, eat the pizza, spend 3 hours on TikTok. That's not a sign you're weak, it's a sign you're human. The mistake is thinking a slip up means you're back to square one. Your brain doesn't work that way. Every disciplined action you've taken has already started rewiring your neural pathways. A single cheat day doesn't erase that. The key is to get back on track immediately. Don't let one mistake become a spiral. Analyze what went wrong. Maybe you were tired or didn't plan your cues. Adjust your system and keep going. For example, if you skipped a morning workout, schedule a short evening walk instead. Action beats regret every time. This brings us to environment. Your surroundings shape your brain more than you think. If you're trying to be disciplined in a chaotic space, cluttered desk, noisy house, toxic people, your brain has to fight harder. Simplify your environment. Clear your workspace. Set boundaries with distractions, human or otherwise. Research shows that a clean, organized space reduces cognitive load, freeing your brain to focus on disciplined actions. For instance, a study found that students in tidy classrooms performed better on tests than those in cluttered ones. Your environment is either an ally or an enemy. Make it an ally. If you work from home, designate a specific area for focused tasks, free of phones or snacks. Even small changes like keeping your desk clear signal to your brain that it's time to work. Sleep is non-negotiable. If you're skimping on sleep, you're sabotaging your brain's ability to rewire. During sleep, your brain consolidates new neural connections and clears out toxins. Without it, your prefrontal cortex, the discipline center, can't function. Aim for 7-9 hours and keep a consistent schedule. Avoid screens an hour before bed. Blue light suppresses melatonin, the hormone that signals sleep. If you want to crave discipline, give your brain the rest it needs to build those pathways to improve sleep. Try a wind-down routine, dim lights, read a book, or do light stretching. Consistency matters more than perfection. Even 1 extra hour of sleep can boost your focus the next day. Nutrition matters too. Your brain runs on glucose, but junk food spikes and crashes your energy, making discipline harder. Eat whole foods. Protein, healthy fats, complex carbs to stabilize blood sugar. Omega-3s, found in fish or walnuts, support neuroplasticity. Hydration is critical. Even mild dehydration impairs focus. This isn't about a diet, it's about fueling the machine that's going to rewire itself. For example, start your day with eggs and avocado instead of a sugary cereal. The steady energy keeps your brain sharp. If you're prone to snacking, keep healthy options like almonds or carrots within reach. Small choices add up to big changes in how your brain performs. Exercise is your secret weapon. It's not just for your body, it's for your brain. Physical activity increases BDNF, a protein that promotes neural growth. It also boosts dopamine and serotonin in a controlled way, reducing your reliance on quick hits. You don't need to run a marathon. 20 minutes of moderate exercise. Walking, lifting, yoga, 5 days a week is enough to supercharge your brain's plasticity. The key is consistency. Make it a habit and your brain will start associating movement with reward. For instance, a brisk walk after work can clear mental fog and reinforce your discipline loop. If gyms intimidate you, start with bodyweight exercises at home, push-ups, squats, planks. The goal is movement, not perfection. Let's talk about boredom because it's where discipline lives. Your brain hates boredom, which is why you reach for your phone the second you're not entertained. But boredom is a gift. It's when your brain processes, reflects, and builds new connections. Embrace it. Next time you're tempted to fill a quiet moment with a dopamine hit, wait. Sit with the discomfort for 1 minute. This trains your brain to tolerate the space where discipline grows. Over time, you'll find boredom isn't empty, it's fertile. For example, if you're waiting in line, resist checking your phone. Notice your surroundings instead. This small act strengthens your brain's ability to stay present. Social connection is another piece of the puzzle. Your brain is wired to mimic those around you thanks to mirror neurons. Surround yourself with disciplined people, and their habits will rub off. Join a study group, a running club, or a mastermind. Even online communities work. The point is to expose your brain to models of discipline. It's not about competition, it's about osmosis. Your brain will start rewiring to match what it sees. For instance, if you want to write more, join a writers group where members share daily progress. Their consistency will nudge your brain toward the same. Conversely, limit time with people who reinforce bad habits. Energy is contagious for better or worse. Now let's tackle the myth of multitasking. Your brain can't do it. What you call multitasking is just task switching, and it fries your focus. Each switch burns glucose and weakens your prefrontal cortex. To build discipline, embrace single task. Pick one thing, set a timer for 25 minutes, and go all in. This is called the Pomodoro technique, and it works because it aligns with your brain's attention span. Over time, your brain learns to crave deep focus, and distractions lose their place. For example, if you're studying, close all tabs except the one you need. After 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break to stretch or breathe. These focused bursts train your brain to love the zone. Technology is a double-edged sword. It's a dopamine slot machine. But it can also be a tool. Use apps to block distractions. Freedom. Cold turkey. Forest. Set up your devices to support discipline, not undermine it. Turn off notifications. Grayscale your phone screen to make it less appealing. These tweaks reduce the dopamine lure of tech, giving your brain space to rewire. Technology isn't the enemy. Your habits around it are. For instance, use a website blocker during work hours to lock out social media. Or set your phone to do not disturb during deep work sessions. These small barriers make it easier for your brain to choose discipline. Let's zoom out. Discipline isn't just about habits. It's about identity. Your brain loves consistency, so start thinking of yourself as a disciplined person. This isn't fake it till you make it. It's about aligning your self-image with your actions. Every time you choose discipline, you're casting a vote for who you are. Over time, your brain internalizes this identity, and discipline becomes who you are, not what you do. Tell yourself, I'm the kind of person who finishes what they start. Your brain will work to prove you right. For example, when you complete a small task, affirm it. This is who I am. This self-talk rewires your brain's narrative. But discipline isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Your brain doesn't need you to be flawless. It needs you to be consistent. Small deliberate actions compound. A 1% improvement every day adds up to a transformed brain in a year. That's the power of neuroplasticity. You're not stuck with the brain you have now. You can mold it, sculpt it, make it crave the things that make you better. To illustrate, think of discipline like a muscle. Each rep, each choice to act, makes it stronger. A single missed rep doesn't undo your gains. It's the overall trend that matters. Let's talk about the long game. Discipline compounds because it builds trust in yourself. Every time you follow through, you strengthen a neural pathway that says, I can do this. This is why disciplined people seem unstoppable. Their brains aren't chasing dopamine. They're chasing self-respect. And self-respect is a reward no external hit can match. It's the ultimate dopamine hack, finding joy in who you're becoming. For example, when you stick to a goal for a month, you're not just building a habit. You're building a belief in your own reliability. That belief fuels further discipline, creating a virtuous cycle. Now, let's dive deeper into the neuroscience of reward. Your brain's reward system involves not just dopamine, but also endorphins, oxytocin, and serotonin. These chemicals work together to create a sense of satisfaction, but they're triggered differently. Dopamine is about anticipation, the thrill of wanting. Endorphins kick in during physical exertion, like the runner's high. Oxytocin comes from connection, like bonding with a friend. Serotonin signals status or stability, like feeling accomplished. To rewire your brain, you want to balance these. Over-relying on dopamine creates a crash. Incorporating the others builds a stable reward system. For instance, combine exercise, endorphins, a group activity, oxytocin, and a clear goal, serotonin, to make discipline feel multidimensional. Another strategy is to gamify your discipline. Your brain loves challenges and rewards, so turn your goals into a game. Set points for completing tasks, like 10 points for a workout or 5 for a focused work session. Track your score daily and aim to beat your high score. This taps into your brain's love of progress and competition, making discipline fun. For example, use an app like Habitica, where your tasks are part of a role-playing game. Completing them levels up your character. This isn't childish. It's a way to trick your brain into craving the grind. The key is to keep the game simple and tied to real goals, not distractions. Let's explore the role of mindset. Your brain interprets effort based on how you frame it. If you see discipline as punishment, your brain resists. If you see it as growth, your brain embraces it. This is called cognitive reframing. For example, instead of thinking, I have to work out, think, I'm building strength for my future self. This shift changes how your brain encodes the experience. A study showed that people who viewed stress as a challenge performed better than those who saw it as a threat. Apply this to discipline. Every hard choice is a chance to grow, not a burden. Practice this by writing down one positive outcome of your disciplined action each day. Over time, your brain adopts this lens. Another tool is exposure to discomfort beyond cold showers. Try intermittent fasting, public speaking, or learning a new skill. These push your brain out of its comfort zone, strengthening its ability to handle resistance. For instance, fasting for 16 hours once a week teaches your brain to tolerate hunger, which builds mental toughness. Or take a class in something unfamiliar like pottery or coding. The frustration of being a beginner rewires your brain to see struggle as progress. These practices aren't about masochism. They're about teaching your brain that discomfort is temporary and rewarding. Let's address procrastination, a dopamine-driven trap. Your brain procrastinates because it prioritizes immediate comfort over future rewards. To beat it, use the 2-minute rule. Start any task with just 2 minutes of action. Want to write? Write 1 sentence. Want to clean? Wipe 1 surface. This lowers the mental barrier, and your brain often keeps going once it starts. This works because of the Zeigarnik effect. Your brain hates unfinished tasks and will nudge you to complete them. For example, if you're dreading a report, open the document and type the title. Momentum takes over. Pair this with a timer to keep it finite, and you'll trick your brain into action. Social accountability is another lever. Your brain cares about how others see you, thanks to evolutionary pressures. Use this by sharing your goals with someone you respect. Tell a friend you'll finish a project by Friday, or post your workout streak online. The fear of letting others down pushes your brain to act. For instance, join a challenge like 75 Hard, where you commit to daily tasks and share progress with a community. The external pressure reinforces your internal discipline. Just choose accountability partners who inspire, not judge. Your brain thrives on positive social cues. Let's talk about flow states, those moments when you're so absorbed in a task that time vanishes. Flow is the ultimate reward for discipline, blending focus, challenge, and skill. To trigger it, pick tasks that are just beyond your current ability, but not overwhelming. For example, if you're a writer, draft a challenging article that stretches your skills, set clear goals, eliminate distractions, and work in a quiet space. Your brain enters flow when it's fully engaged, releasing a cocktail of dopamine, endorphins, and serotonin. This state is addictive in the best way, making discipline its own reward. Aim for 1 flow session a week to rewire your brain toward deep work. Another angle is gratitude, which rewires your brain's reward baseline. Dopamine chases more, but gratitude teaches your brain to appreciate enough. Each day, write down 3 things you're thankful for, like a good meal or a supportive friend. This boosts serotonin and reduces the need for external hits. A study found that daily gratitude journaling increased self-control over time. It works because your brain stops scanning for what's missing and starts valuing what's present. This makes discipline easier. You're not fighting a sense of lack. Try it for a week and notice how your brain shifts. Let's explore the role of curiosity. Your brain loves learning, and curiosity is a natural dopamine driver. Frame your discipline tasks as experiment. Instead of, I must study, think, I wonder what I'll learn today. This mindset makes effort rewarding because it taps into your brain's desire to explore. For example, if you're exercising, research a new technique or track how your energy changes. Curiosity keeps your brain engaged, reducing reliance on quick hits. To sustain it, ask questions about your goals. Why does this matter? What could I discover? Your brain will lean in. Finally, let's talk about legacy.